All right, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Solid Gold Soul. I am Matt, and I've got my brother from another mother, my other brother from another brother, another mother. I've got Alan with me. Y'all know him as the Comic Collector Geek, and he is one of the premier YouTubers in the Golden Age lane. Alan, how you doing, my friend? It's good to see you.
Good to see you too. I always enjoy hanging out with you because we always like showing each other comics and stuff. It's great.
Yep, and that's what we actually did that before we got on. So 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 it's always great, man, to see what each of us has picked up. And so we're here today. We're gonna show some books, but first we're gonna talk about your foray into the Golden Age, because a lot of people, Golden Age is something that you just kind of easy, you kind of gradually, it just comes and gets you, and it just pulls you in, and once
Yeah.
you're in, that's it. It's over, all bets off. So Alan, first tell everybody about about what you about yourself, and then just tell everybody about kind of how you kind of wandered into this mystical world of Golden Age.
Golden Age. So yeah. I've been collecting for like 40 years or something crazy, like since I was like a really young kid. I always loved comics. Every Christmas my parents would give me like comics for Christmas, and it sort of became sort of something I just always thought was a cool thing. And when I started collecting comics though, like I always wanted to get, I always liked the concept of first appearances. I just love that whole idea of like getting that first appearance. Like this is the first time anyone's ever seen this character. So I remember the first time I went to a comic shop, and I was like, I want the first, like at the time I really liked the character Plastic Man. That was the character that I really liked at the time. And I wanted to get his first appearance. So the guy, I was like, oh, he gave me like Plastic Man #1. And this was like a much later issue. It's not his first appearance or anything. So I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I have the first appearance. And then later I found out, no, that's not the first appearance. There's an earlier Silver Age. There's an earlier Golden Age.
Yeah.
And actually, 2 days ago, officially, I actually got Plastic Man's first appearance. So
Yeah,
that was a big score for me. That was a big
I was
score.
happy for you, man. When you messaged me and told me, I was thrilled that you had got it, man.
Yeah.
That's one that you just don't see too many people.
Yeah. It's pretty rare. So the thing was, like, I do like these first appearances. So what really got me into Golden Age was partly my son, and partly Wonder Woman. I wanted to get Wonder Woman's first appearance, and I thought that would be my grail of grails to get. You know what I mean? Like if I have that, I'm done. I don't need any other books. But
don't we all?
That's how it always, and then you go to the next big thing. It just happened that one of my local comic shop guys had All Stars 8, and I was like, oh wow, that's cool. And it was like one of those books where he was like, he started out, he wanted like 40,000 Canadian, but and then I talked him down. I kept on talking him down on the price.
Yeah, he needed money, man.
Yeah, and it turned out like I had a little bit of cash from when I bought and sold my house. Like I had a little extra cash left over. And so I talked him down to 20,000 Canadian, which is about 14,000 US.
Yeah.
So that's how much I ended up picking that up. So that book, though, kind of changed the way I thought about collecting. Before then, I would only, spend like maybe $100, and that was like, oh, that's a big purchase. I spent that much on a comic, but this really like just changed my whole perspective of going after big books. And Golden Age doesn't have to be that, but it was the thing that got me into it and saying, well, if I can get this book, I can get other books. And then I realized that there's a lot more affordable books, like a lot of the, like back to Plastic Man. Like I was picking up Plastic Man, early ones, like for like $50,
Yeah.
$100, in that range. Then I got into Captain Marvel, and then then I was like, oh, what kind of led to why did the golden age kind of end? And then I got into SOTI books, like, which is Seduction of the Innocent, and like, and it's just like you just sort of pull the thread, and it just keeps on like getting you into different things.
Those SOTI books are that's a rabbit hole.
Yeah, and then a lot of the like if you get into collecting SOTI books, it gets you into like collecting horror, gets you into collecting crime, gets you into collecting romance, gets you to it basically it's the thing that connects everything.
Yeah.
And once I started, like, I always liked I collected a lot during the 90s, like early 90s. Like that was like really the time that I got away from my parents. I was able to get whatever books I liked, and I was really into the bad girl stuff. Yep. So the golden age good girl was kind of the natural progression. It's like, oh, there's so many cool books. Like, I like the, the kind of the sexy girls, and like, getting all those like kind of cool covers. And it just there you find one, and then you start talking to people like yourself who like say, oh, do you know this book? And like, oh no, I don't know that book. I gotta go find that book now.
We'll find it, yeah.
And then like a couple of years ago, I started the YouTube channel, and every time I show things, people would say, oh, do you know this book or this other book? And after a while, you just sort of almost like through osmosis, you just sort of learn it all, and you get really, you go down all those different rabbit holes. So that's, I don't know, that's kind of a long-winded way of how I got into
that's collecting. Great. No, that's a good explanation, man. And so when you bought your Wonder Woman,
All-Star 8, yeah,
All-Star 8, what year was that? Because we're kind of in a it's funny how because I know I got back in at about 2014, 2015.
Yeah.
And at that time I was not spending like I am now for golden age books. And that's not just, like he said, that's not to say that you can't get in at a lower price range. I just was at that time at 14 and 15, I was running around buying 1,000 variants, and trying to run into the shop on Wednesdays trying to buy the latest and greatest or the hottest book.
Mm-hmm.
And, so there was an opportunity there back in the day, from what I've gathered from talking to a lot of people that's in this arena,
where you could pick up stuff cheap.
Yeah, dirt cheap. I mean, I heard someone tell me a story about LB Cole, the cover with the guy with the top hat on.
I just picked that up, actually.
Yeah,
that's another one I picked up.
Somebody I know had that book for $600 back in the day, and I was like, "What?" I was like,
"Yeah,
$600? What?" He's like, "Yeah, you could have got that for $600, man." I actually was at a show in The Mask, the one that recently sold. Well,
oh yeah, that's a big book too.
So I was at a show, and this was about 3-4 years ago. This guy bought the book. I was there when the guy bought the book. He paid $500 for it.
Wow.
And turned around and put it on Heritage, and that was the one that got that big number. And I was like, wow, so there were
that was the book that really put LB Cole.
Yeah. Yep. That's the one. Yep. So what year was that, Alan?
That I bought like 2018, 2019 kind of era.
Yeah, and the reason I brought this up is because right now the industry is everybody's kind of panicking and going sideways, and I always tell people this is like the time to go look for stuff. Like if you're looking to get in the golden age, you're looking to pick up a couple of books. There may be a couple of old books. Me and you both have picked up in the last couple of months. Both picked up Popeye books for pennies on the dollar.
Oh, they've been cheap for a long time.
Yeah, cheap books. Disney books are good books. What are some of the books that people can look at if they that you feel like that's undervalued that people could get into this sector in?
So it's kind of funny. Like one of the series that I collect is Nyoka.
Yep, Jungle
Book. So recently, what was her name? Jennifer Lawrence. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She was going on about, I'm the first female action star. Okay. Well, she was not the first female action star. If you go back, Naoka was the first, like, and I forget the actress's name that played her. There was two different actresses that played her, but she was the first, and they made a comic series about her because she was quite popular. And she was actually doing, like, she had like a stunt double, but it was this guy that would wear a wig and you'd all do all these flips, like crazy stuff. But it was, you know, that book you can pick up $20, you know, different book, you know, there's like 100 in the series. It's like, you know, there's a lot in the series, but you know, $20 each. And it depends on the grade, but you know, 20, $50 maybe. And some of the more key kind of issues, maybe 100, you know, but nothing that's going to break the bank is my point. And another series is Captain Marvel, obviously. That's a, you know, but that's gradually getting, you know,
it's hit or miss. You kind of got, with Captain Marvel, you kind of got to, you have to put in some leg work to get Captain Marvel. If if you're going to just sit online and do it, then yeah, you're going to end up paying a little bit. But if you can actually ride around and look, then you'll find some Captain Marvel.
Yeah, they're pretty cheap. They're fairly cheap. Yeah, I'm always surprised how cheap they were. So and then another series would be like, you know, you know, like Cinderella Love. Okay, everybody, like, you know, if you look, you know, that's considered Matt Baker's greatest book, is Cinderella Love 25. Okay, and then 26, 20, you know, the later issues are all Matt Baker, and they're just, well, they're phenomenal. They're amazing covers, and they're ones that I want to get in my collection someday. And they're really expensive. However, the same series, if you look at the earlier issues that aren't Matt Baker, but they're still great covers. You can buy them $30. It's just like, it doesn't even make sense. You know, I know, you know, that Matt Baker's an awesome artist and all, but the other covers are still, you know, they're not of that same caliber, but they're still great. You know what I mean? So they should be within a certain price range, you know, but they aren't. They're really just, it's like night and day. Like, you know, Cinderella Love is like, you know, $10,000+ book. You know, and then you get like just a couple issues earlier and it's $30.
It's quite hilarious, man, when you see those fluctuations. You know, you see one book that's 20, then the same run, you see another book that's in there, and it's like $15. You know, you're like, wow, for a 4, I can pay $40, $50 for a 4. You know, and it's amazing, man, when you see these books. And you hit on something there, Alan, that a lot of people discredit, man, is that, you know, that you see your Matt Bakers, you see your LB Coles, but then you see guys like, you know, Bob Kane,
Lee Elias,
Maurice Whitman. You know,
Maurice Whitman, I love him.
That's another one of my favorite. I love his work. You know, you start seeing people like that. You see Bob Lovers. You know, you see all of these artists that people just don't even think about. You know, and then you can go find their work. And people forget, this is like it's not like it is today where we can go out and you can easily put your hands on people's artwork. A lot of people's artwork is what you saw in that book. And so when you can grab some of that stuff, it's like you've got a piece of history. And that's the way I'll let the golden age is. And
a lot of it is rare pieces of history, like, you know, less than maybe a couple hundred copies like, left, kind of thing. Yeah, it just doesn't even make sense sometimes. Like another series that is really like that and that has great covers almost the whole entire run is Black Cat Mysteries. You know, Black Cat and then Black Cat Mysteries. Just a lot of really cool covers, but then there's a few covers within that run that are just crazy expensive, and then the rest are fairly affordable. And you know, it doesn't even make sense to me because, like, why? Like, why are these other covers that, you know, there's some really great ones like with bondage and crazy stuff happening in them, and they're actually pretty affordable. So
you hit on something else too. Is low census counts. I don't think people realize that a lot of these books are not going to print, and some of them only pop up every so many years. I've seen some books that have popped. I'll go through GPA and sometimes I'll look and I'll see a book that it probably shows up twice in 10 years, which is crazy. You know, now that's not private sales or what have you,
Yeah, you look at the last sale and it's like 2006 or something silly.
Yeah, I find it to be very remarkable, man. And it goes to show, one thing I've started doing is moving away from the rare and use scarcity, because some of these are like extremely scarce. Like you're gonna probably see them maybe once or twice in your life, and if you don't get it, then it's that's it. So
yeah. Sometimes I've made mistakes like that.
Well, they hurt. Trust me, I know they hurt.
Yeah, I just recently I feel I'm kicking myself because the one with the Catman one, Catman 28 is the one with the top hat. I just recently picked that up. I picked up a 0.5, blue label.
Yeah.
It's actually, I think it's misgraded as a 0.5.
There's a lot of that too, Alan. It's funny you bring that up. I've seen a lot of misgrades, man.
The only reason it's a 0.5 is it has brittle pages, and it's questionable about how brittle. Sometimes that's one of those things in the CGC thing where maybe the corner of one page flakes off, and then they label the whole book as being brittle pages, even though it isn't.
Yeah.
So it's one of those cases
that needs to be changed. I had a buddy. We talked about it in the group on Facebook recently. And that was something that I feel like when you knock somebody for brittle pages, and I know we're kind of veering off a little bit, but we'll come back. But I feel like brittle pages on a book that's almost 100 years old. I mean,
I know it doesn't.
Oh, I mean, brittle. I mean,
could be brittle by that point.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, dude, most folks kept this stuff up in their attic, man. So of course it's gonna be brittle pages. So carry.
So the funny thing was, so I bought that book. I paid $1,900. It's an expensive book, just so you know.
Yeah.
But the next week, another copy came up. It was a restored copy, a 2.5, and it looks a little bit nicer, and it sold for $1,800. So I was like, I would have preferred the restored copy. Yeah, I really would have.
That's a whole nother discussion too. Sometimes you can find, and people. That's actually a good way to get some of these books. A lot of people turn away from purple labels.
Yeah.
I use purple labels depending on the book. Like in this case, like you talking about Catman. Like there's certain books I'll go, I can deal with a restored label on that, because
especially if it's in a low grade, like a 2.5. Yeah. Like even if you remove the restoration for whatever reason, is it going to really impact the grade? Probably not.
Exactly. So yeah, I think there's like a lot of opportunity in that realm.
I mean, the way I got the Police Comics #1 is it's a restored copy. It's a 7.0, so it's a high grade. But the great thing about restored when it's high grade is it really kills the price. Restoration. It really. So I was looking at I actually kind of was working out a deal with somebody that in February I'll have more cash available. So I said maybe I'll buy this book in February. The Police Comics #1. Somebody else had a copy, and they had a 3.0. Okay, and they wanted $17,000 for it. Okay, so I was like, oh, that's a bit much. I was trying to talk them down to around $13,000, which is a little bit closer to what it's probably worth. However, this restored 7.0, which if you remove the restoration, it's like a small amount of color touch and it's professional restoration, so it's not even nothing major. It would maybe go down to 6. Okay, I paid $5,000 for it. Okay, so there's no logic to me in that. You know what I mean? Like it's not even like it's like a third of the price.
Yeah.
Of a much lower grade. It presents way better.
Yeah.
It's sometimes the restoration thing. I just just buy it. I don't really care.
Ultimately, and that's true, because a lot of times, Alan, what happens is people tend to, when you want these big books, you have to really be strategic about how you go about getting it, because if you don't, like you just said, somebody 17,000 versus 5,000, you tell me which one sounds better. It's ultimately do you want the book or do you not want the book? Okay, well, I can get the book at this price. Cool, I can get it at this price. There are collectors who are willing to pay 17, 18, 20, 25, big time money for some of these books. But if you can find a book like this of that, it's already tough to find, and you can get it at that price, then yeah, you get it and you walk out of there. I just got Captain, as you know, I got Captain Marvel Adventures.
Yeah, number 2, wasn't it?
Yeah, number 2. And I looked at it. It's got tape on the cover, but I was like, well, hell, I still get a blue label with tape on the cover, so it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I know the guy who I bought it from, and he would have showed me if it was restored. He would have put it on there. So he was like, "No, this is a good copy, man." And I said, "Oh, well, yeah, I'll take it for that. Yeah, we'll take that."
Yeah, you got it for a great price too.
Yeah, I got it for well under $1,000, which is very hard to find.
It's really good for that book.
Find, so I was like, you know what, we got that, and that's it. And that's a book where I think I looked on the census. And
it's not common. It's really rare.
Yeah, it's like 67 restored. It's like 67 total, 20 restored, 47 or 40. That's universal. So it's a very, very rare book to find. Scarce, very scarce book to find. So yeah. So Alan, since where do you see if someone is looking and I know somebody's gonna be in the chat that's gonna say, well, here they go, they're talking about speculating. No, we're not speculating. I just want to show people, because a lot of times people don't realize that there's a lot of value. And of course, we've thrown some numbers around here in the last 15 minutes, but there's a lot of value in golden age books.
It's a different animal than like modern books. Like, so the thing is, and I lived through the 90s. You probably had the same experience.
We both have.
Where it's like, I got the Death of Superman, and like I got a long box full of it. I'm gonna like retire. It's like, that kind of, there's sort of a belief that with the modern books that if you find some key character's first appearance, you're gonna hit the jackpot. You're gonna be able to retire on it, like Miles Morales. You probably actually could have if you bought maybe 50 copies of that. Yeah, maybe you'd do well, but that is a really rare circumstance, especially with modern. Golden Age, I find the books don't generally go up like that kind of crazy spike. However, they do gradually appreciate, and it's almost like a true definition of a blue chip, where you park your money into something that is going to give you a constant return on your investment. Whereas the modern, you never, it's more of a risky bet. So, and if you're smart, you can actually, even with the golden age, you can still get those crazy spikes in value. You just have to know what kind of books to look for. And I think, I know that you're very savvy. I'm trying to be savvy with the way I buy books.
Y'all hear that, ladies and gentlemen? Alan thought he's not savvy. Listen, you see all that stuff behind him. He thought he's not savvy. Look at that.
Yeah. But no, I have really great respect for you, because you know how to hunt, and there is a bit of that kind of hunt required, where if you can find like some kind of key book that the person that has it really doesn't understand what it is, you can get like a pretty good deal. Like, I picked up, Looney Tunes #1.
Yeah.
I picked it up for like a couple $100. The recent sale was like 3,000-4,000 for the, it's like, it's like that kind of thing. You just, if you know what you're looking for, you can do really well. And a lot of the golden age stuff, because it isn't as sexy in a way as the modern stuff, it's usually put in the back bins. It's sort of, so a lot of the time, if you just go and ask, hey, do you have any older books? They will say, oh yeah, we have some, some boxes back there.
More stuff over there, some of this old gold key, and then you go to the gold key, and then you get to the good stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, and then you can find some really great stuff. Like, I couldn't believe it. One vendor I had like met at a con, he had all this golden age stuff, but he had priced it like back, like, last sales data, like, so it was priced 6 years ago or 8 years ago. So, it had doubled or tripled since then.
Yeah. And,
I was picking up like LB Cole, like really, really great LB Cole stuff, $50, $100. It didn't even make sense.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
there is stuff, if you know how to dig and if you know what to look for, and, watch channels like yours and watch channels like mine, and you'll learn after a while, like, these are the kind of things to look for. You can do really well. It's amazing how much is out there.
Yeah. Yeah. I had an experience like that. I don't know if you saw one of my haul videos, recent haul videos, but I got some stuff back from CGC in a book
Mhm,
that I had bought back in, I'd say probably 16 to 17.
mhm.
Uh, I bought Wild Comics 38 and
Okay.
I paid like $32 for it.
Well,
And
comics 38. Let me see. I think
you,
I think I brought it with me.
yeah, yeah.
That's a
And
great
so,
book.
yeah, and it's fastly becoming an iconic cover of Mary Marvel. And
Yeah.
so a lot of people are starting to seek that out. And that's a classic example of how you can go to a shop and
Mhm.
find it was just throw it in the kids section. And
Yeah.
I was
Like
like, wow,
Mary Marvel, any of the Captain Marvel stuff, it's like
yeah, who
I
cares? Who
don't
cares
even
about Captain
understand.
Marvel? Who cares about Captain Marvel? Carol Danvers, that's what they worry about. And I said, okay, well, y'all worry about Carol Danvers. I'll go worry about Billy Batson, and I'll just load up
Mhm.
on Captain Marvel, and I'll keep on rolling. But there's a lot of opportunity out there for people to buy. And so when you look at like Woody Woodpecker, uh
Oh yeah.
characters like that, you look at Tom and Jerry, you look at uh
Mhm.
Felix the Cat. Felix the Cat has some awesome covers.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
and they just go right by the wayside. And you can, like you said, you can go to these shop shows. I've been to plenty of shows where that stuff is $5 and $10. I
yeah.
can't tell you how many times I've bought Walt Disney books, 10 centers for like less than maybe $10, maybe $5 at most.
Yeah, I one of the comic shops around here, he has like long boxes, like 2 or 3 long boxes filled with Dell, the Dell 4 colors and Disney books, $5 each.
Yeah, it's almost like it's
Something
almost
like
as
this.
if, Alan, it's kind of like it's a chore for them to even carry that stuff around. They're ready to just get rid of it. Just in it, I'll just tell you can have it. And I'm like, bro, really? And
Yeah,
it's in decent grade. Most times you hit up some of these flea markets, it's all crumpled up and mangled. But
yeah.
in this case, I've seen really high grade 10 centers, and it's shocking to see how cheap some of that stuff
Those
goes.
Disney books, and what people don't realize is if it's under like a 5.0, like under 5.0, they're not as valuable. They're pretty common. But once you get it above that that grade, the price just shoots up really, really fast. And there's a lot of people that actually stored some of those books in high grade, and
Hmm.
you can pick them up, and they get mixed in like without, like
Yeah,
people don't even realize they mix them in with these kind of lower grade stuff, and you can pick them up cheaply.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So for anybody that's looking at moving into this arena, I can give you my own testimony. I kind of was already picking up golden age books because they
Mhm.
were so cheap, and I like the covers, I like the artwork, and I was drawn to just I like a lot of good line art, and you find a lot of good line art in golden age work. And
Mhm.
uh, what I did was I just kind of took the money that I was buying, 1 in 100 variants and stuff, and I said, you know what, I'm going to redirect that money and move it,
Mhm.
books
Buy
that
something better.
yeah, a little bit better. A history. I'm a history buff, man. So I like a lot of
Yeah, me too.
yeah, I love history. That was actually my favorite subject in high school was history, and
Mhm.
so I like buying things that it either put you back at that time of what was going on, or you just kind of get that feel of what was going on.
Nostalgia. I love the nostalgia feel.
Nostalgia.
Like,
Yeah,
yep.
yep. I love looking at old logos. You know,
Mhm.
things like that, and I see like old ads and stuff. For brands that were just starting out. It's just a lot that goes into golden age collecting. So
Yeah.
now we're not going to prolong because I know what people are here for. So we're going
They want to see some
to.
books.
They want to see the candy, Alan. So we're going to go ahead
Okay.
and let you show off what you got. I don't know what you brought, so I'm going to
I
let you.
bought some really random stuff, and I brought a box that I thought I had lost, and it has it's like all major books. I was
Cool.
like
So
kind of freaking.
let's have at it, man. Let's have
Okay,
at
so I'm going to show you the
it.
slabs that I randomly grabbed
Yep.
first. I'm going to start out with a kind of a cool one. This is Tomorrow.
Nice.
This is just this is like one of those like anti-communism. I like these like
those
they were free.
So not to cut you off, Alan. Military books is also another thing that just things like brochures, like military courtesy stuff like that. People have you can find those for nothing.
Yeah, that's true. This book is one that's becoming kind of hot though, because it's like
no pun intended.
Yeah, no pun intended. There's actually 3 different versions of it. This is the more common one. It's like there's a 10-cent one that's actually more rare.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of a cool book. And then I brought some Good Girl art. I'm going to show this one. This is I really like this one, Mopsy.
Yeah, Mopsy,
man. Character again that's like underrated. I think it's
her so cheap, man.
This non-expensive book. $150 kind of level. For Mopsy number 1. It's
like that, and that's like low end. You still can get like a high grade for like 300, like high grade.
Yeah, exactly. And it presents really well. It's a great cover. They actually swiped this cover for Katie Keene.
Yep. And a lot. Hold that there right quick, Alan. A lot of people, we didn't touch on this, but I'll touch on it right now. A lot of people, when you see 4 or 5 in the modern community, it's like, oh man, that's a rag. That's no way. Rag. You see 4 or 5 in golden age, then you doing pretty good. I say 3.5 up, you're doing really good.
Exactly. So even on some books, even a 1 or 2 is like crazy expensive.
Catman.
But this one's a great cover because it's actually a bit of a see-through kind of sexy thing going on there.
And you also got to realize back then, you see that's a racy cover for back then. I
know that's my point.
That's back then. That was pushing.
She's showing a lot of skin.
Yeah.
So it's a great one. I don't know why it's so underrated, but yeah, it's a one that I actually like. I've been collecting that series actually. Another series that I collect is Planet Comics.
Yep, that's one of my favorite collections there. I love Planet
Comics. Is a low grade one, but like one of the things that I do when I collect in order to afford certain books, because Planet Comics is kind of going crazy right now. It's so expensive.
Yeah, it's getting up there now, man.
Yeah, it's like you could use it like 2-3 years ago. You could pick these up way better prices.
125, 100, 70.
Exactly. Yeah. But now it's like 300-400.
Man, in some cases down here, I've seen 700, 850, 950, and I'm like, wow.
I know. Yeah, it's gone crazy.
Raw.
Oh, really? Raw. That's
raw.
Great. Yeah. I have about 20 or 25 maybe of Planet Comics run so far. So I've been picking up a bunch, but this one of the ways that I try to get the price down is buying, this is a low grade, but it's a low grade where it's the spine that's messed up. You know what I mean? It's not, you could, like, if you didn't see the spine, which you can't in a slab anyways, presents really well. You know what I mean?
I think one of the things that people should realize too, when we talk about low grade golden age books, is that, and I've been recently had this discussion with a friend of mine, and he came around to my way of thinking about it, and I told him, I said, if the grade is a 1.8, but the book looks good, you're basically protecting the book by putting it in the slab. And he was like, you know what? I never thought about it that way, and I was like, yeah. So you don't have to worry about anything else happening to it because it's protected.
Yeah, exactly.
It's to protect your golden age books. He's like, oh man, I had never thought about it that way. I was like, yeah.
So you mentioned Maurice Whitman. So here's Maurice Whitman.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Really great. Like I just really, again, another kind of scantily clad lady. I like my scantily clad ladies. So so this series is I always think that if you're going to get into kind of the golden age stuff, if you want to go the good girl or sci-fi, this is kind of the combination of both, and it's a great series to really bring people into that kind of golden age experience. I think it's a good one, and the ads are always crazy on the back.
Massage on the stomach. Yeah, that's a classic. They knew what they were doing on those, man. They knew what they were doing.
I figure I should show like all the different things. So Another one is
Electric chair.
electric chair covers. So there's 3 electric chair covers that are kind of considered the big ones. There's this one, there's Web of Evil, and then there's a Captain Marvel Jr. Those are the kind of the 3 key electric chair ones that are kind of like more zoomed in on the person in the electric chair. But this is considered the biggest of the 3, I would say, in terms of the ones that people go for.
And that's one you.
This is Steve Stranko, or whatever his name. Dicko. I was going through my names.
Steve Dicko. I can tell now when usually when somebody says his name, I can immediately associate the art. That's one that you don't see that too often. This is my first time actually seeing that. I hadn't seen that one before.
This is it's a crazy cover too. It's like, you can see almost like he's all stressed out that he's going to get electrocuted, and he's like every vein and stuff is pumped. It's just a really interesting cover.
And a lot of people are probably wondering, well, why is electric chair covers popular? Because back then that was the way they did. You did something, you went to the chair, and so a lot of states down here they don't have the chair anymore. So these covers are really kind of put you, like as we were talking earlier, put you back in the time of history when that was common. Well,
and also one of the things with Golden Age things is almost there is that shock, like no pun intended again, that shock element though of like looking for covers that are crazy gore, crazy like something, that would just grab your attention. Like if you saw this on a newsstand, you'd be like, whoa, what is that? In a way, like I find comics nowadays a bit boring, a bit bland.
Yeah.
Like they have some really great covers that are like, some good girl covers nowadays. But kind of bland, nothing that kind of sparks that, oh, what's inside, I don't know. It's a different thing. I find comics nowadays a bit more bland compared to the Golden Age. Actually, I did bring WoW Comics 18.
Okay. Yep. That's an Infinity cover.
Yeah, I like this one especially because it's not just one Infinity; it's like multiple.
Yeah.
It's like I always like this one. And this is also the first appearance. Yeah.
Classic B. That was.
B for victory. Yeah. So it's like a really cool thing because it's also the first appearance of Uncle Marvel as well. And I'm a big, like when I collect, I really like getting those first appearances. I kind of chase after first appearances. So it's a thing for me. I'm like, that's how I collect. Actually,
that's what keep you going, man.
I go for the keys. And we talked about LB Cole, so I figured I'd bring some LB Cole as well.
Yeah, I've actually just sent off Terrifying Tales. I just sent mine off to get graded.
Yeah, it's really the same series. It's just they kept on changing the name back and forth. Yeah, I mean, I'm only like 1 or 2 issues away from getting the whole run.
Nice.
Yeah, it's quite. It's lots of really great covers. Lots of.
It'll cool, man. It's just that color palette, man. It's just so. It attracts.
It really does pop.
When he did that, he knew those colors just popped to gain people's attention, and it's just well.
Yeah. I mean, the funny thing is there are sort of hidden LB Cole covers that people don't realize are LB Cole. Like he did a whole bunch of stuff for like children's classic stories and stuff like this. And they're like really like you wouldn't guess that it's LB Cole.
We're not gonna tell you. We're not gonna tell you because you got to go look on your own because it's fun. The fun is in the hunt. So
yeah. But those books are really cheap, like $5-10.
Did you bring your popular teenagers with you?
Because it's behind me. One sec here.
So the book that Alan's getting ready to show you all, a lot of people see this cover, and so what happens is they immediately buy the comic that as soon as it pops up, they'll see it like maybe on eBay or whatever, and they'll buy it, not realizing there's a trick to this book. And I'm going to show you once he puts it out there. Yeah, because I know he's got it. He's got to go through the mountain of books over there that he has, the mountain of golden age that he has.
Yeah,
but once he shows this, I'm going to show y'all something here to look for when y'all are looking for this particular book, and it's one of his most popular covers.
One sec here. Once I find it.
Yeah. But yeah,
Okay.
you know, yeah, I
Got
think
my Rocket to the Moon.
Rocket to the Moon. Yep, that's one of our comic book.
Another
That
great
Rocket to the Moon is another cool cover, man, and that cover has everything you want on it as well. You got the helmet, you got the girl in bondage, you got aliens, you got spaceships. You know, that's usually one of the ones that hit all the bases.
Of course.
Yeah, the one time you need it, you can't find it. That's how.
Oh, okay. 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 Wow.
There you go. So if you look up in that far left-hand corner, a lot of people don't. There you go. A lot of people don't notice right there. You want the one that says Star Publication.
Yeah.
Because that's
not
the
approved.
First print. Yeah, not accepted. Yeah. I think it's accepted.
Accepted. Yeah.
You don't want the accepted. That's the reprint. There's a bunch of those out there. You want the Star Publications. There's probably, and I, don't quote me on this, but if I can remember correctly, I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but I want to say it's less than 30 of those on the census.
This is a really rare book, and it's one where even the reprints of this book go for a lot of money.
Yeah. So, there's all, and I think at the time I bought mine, it had only came up like maybe one time in like 4 or 5 years. And I just so happened to be cruising the streets of eBay one night, and it was sitting there, and I looked, and I had to make sure. Luckily, he had it graded, and it was right there on the slab, and I was like, "Oh, I'll go ahead and I'll get it." So I paid like $200 for mine.
Yeah, I paid something like that for this one too. It was up on My Comic Shop. Sometimes has auctions, and people just didn't know what it was. They didn't realize that it was the actual first print.
Yep.
And they treated it as if it was a reprint. So it was a couple $100. I'm not going to complain.
Yeah.
So I was super excited to win it though.
Yeah.
It was one that was on my radar for a long time, and you just don't see it. So it's not like one you can, I'll just buy a copy that's there. It's not something you can just go out and buy. So wait, now I messed up all my stuff here. One sec here. I gotta kind of move things around again.
That's what happens when you get talking LB Cole. You start talking covers.
Yeah.
And then you gotta find them.
Yeah. Well, I have a ton of stuff next to me, so I brought just a ton of books to show. So I brought this is another title that I kind of wanted to show this one just because it's a good one to kind of if you like DC comics, or if you like kind of a one that's a bit under the radar but has like so much in it. Mm-hmm. This is More Fun Comics. This is 104. This is the first time you see Superboy on the cover. And 101 is his first appearance. So those books are just, there's a few that are really expensive.
Oh yeah. There's one or two in there, boy. You can be a mint, but yeah.
Yeah. But my point is, like, a lot of these More Funs are incredibly rare, and really, like, you can get them sometimes really affordably, is my point. I got Superboy's second. I got both his first and second appearance, but his second appearance, I paid like a couple $100 for it. It was just, the guy didn't really appreciate how important the book was.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. So there are a lot of opportunities with these kind of titles, especially because a lot of people, like, they have this kind of belief, like, oh, it has to be number one.
Yeah.
Only number one. I mean, this is a 104. And, it shows you how long into the run it was that these major characters appeared. Like 73 is the first Aquaman in the series. There's just some major keys that are in this series. The big ones are obviously the earlier ones, like 52, 55. Those are first appearance of the Spectre and
anything with the Spectre on the cover or in that book in the first few runs, you can just hang it up.
Yeah. Those books you can return.
It's amazing because Alan, you don't see a lot of the Spectre, as far as
I know
being popular now, but for some
But
weird reason.
he's really popular, especially with Golden Age collectors.
I mean, I like I like him as a character, but it's just one of those. He's one of those characters that just because when I went to go look for it, I was like, well, you know what? I like Spectre. I'm gonna go out and look to see if I can.
I'm trying to get a 52. It's really hard to get and really expensive.
No, I said luckily that'll have to be somebody that's coming off a collection that doesn't know what they have.
Yeah. So yeah, that one's one that's definitely a one that I've been trying to chase, but I think what it is a lot of people, like a lot of collectors, Golden Age collectors, they do go after specific artists.
Yeah.
And the artist that did a lot of the Spectre covers is Bernard Bailey.
Yeah.
And he's a phenomenal artist. And he did these kind of almost classic superhero poses with the Spectre, where Spectre's like sort of gigantic.
He's coming up.
It's just there's something kind of cool about it. So I think that's why they're so crazy expensive. It's like, but I kind of gravitate towards the women of comics. I like, so this is another one that I kind of always wanted. This is the first appearance of Harley Quinn, but it's, Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn.
So, that's not Batman Adventures 12.
No.
Yeah, no. This is Harley Quinn. But that's why I was just kind of joking when I said Harley Quinn, but it's Harley Quinn. But it's kind of cool because she's kind of the character that kind of is the Golden Age version of Harley Quinn. So yeah, just kind of a cool character. One thing that you have to know though, any cover that features her is expensive.
Yeah.
It's just, like there's a lot of people that seem to like her, and she's like, I even look for ones that are not first appearance, not a key issue in any particular way, just has her on the cover. Crazy.
And ladies and gentlemen, I want to say this too. It doesn't matter if it's CBCS or CGC. Just get the book because this is a classic example. You really don't have time to kind of be going back and well, if it's not CGC, I don't know. It's Golden Age and it's a massive book and you can get
it's a great book. I was super excited to get this one actually. It's and again, it's one that you just don't see that often.
Exactly.
I think I heard maybe twice a year. I think something like that.
I heard someone recently say, Alan, someone recently said you have to buy those books at today's prices for tomorrow. It was something like along that line of where if you need to buy at yesterday's prices today. So if you don't get them now, you're probably gonna end up regretting it.
Yeah. Another series that I just finished the series.
Sun Girl. Yeah, IG man. Yeah, but congratulations.
I literally finished it today.
Yeah.
This is a low grade one, but
they are expensive. I can tell you now, Sun Girl. I've tried to go hunt down Sun Girl, and Sun Girl is very expensive.
Expensive, hard to find.
And hard to find. Yeah. If you do find a high grade, you can ready to pay a mint.
So this is Sun Girl number 3, which it's only 3 run. It's only 1, 2, 3.
That's a good. It's only 3 books.
It's easy to get in that respect. But the Sun Girl number 1, I haven't received it yet, but the copy that I got is signed by the artist.
Nice. So did he sign it inside or outside?
It's signed on the cover. It's like
nice. That's it.
And it's a certified signature too. So it's a gold label.
Nice.
So it's a pretty rare book. There's only 5 copies.
When you talk about signatures, I'm not a big signature man, but when it comes to stuff like that, I'm all over it because
it's a Golden Age artist.
Yeah, that's like where's he gonna sign? He's not even living. So
he's been dead for a while.
Yeah. And then a lot of times back in the day too, a lot of artists did not sign on the book. They typically sign in the book if they sign because they don't want to do their work.
So it was kind of interesting. So his signature is a little easier to get in a way, a little easier, because what happened was back in, I think it was 2016, he did sort of like a cover. Okay, he came out of retirement and did this one cover, and because of that, he got put in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Nice.
For the oldest artist
to sign a book.
To do a cover, right? So he was like 97 at the time.
Wow.
So he's really old. I think he died a few years later. You know, like it was like,
Wow.
but the thing is, because of that, he sort of was, you know, in the comic scene a little bit, and he did a signing where he signed a whole bunch of books. So his signature is a little easier to get than some of the other Golden Age artists. But getting a Golden Age artist signature is just, it's pretty rare.
Yeah, that's
It's pretty cool to get. So I was quite excited to get that book, and that's coming in the mail. I gotta show some more.
You know, we got.
I always love this book.
Yeah, Torchy, man. Torchy is one of those books that you know, if you see them, you can. They're pretty affordable.
Yeah. I mean, this one's not that affordable, but this is like more like the $500-600 range.
Yeah.
But you know, it depends on what you consider affordable. You know, it's like.
Yeah, you are talking about me and you, so I mean.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right.
But and then this is like there are some really great ones. Usually, with the Golden Age or any age, photo covers are hated. Like everybody hates on photo covers. This is one of the rare exceptions where this is more valuable because it is a photo cover.
That I swear they was trolling when they.
This is somebody got to know what is going on. It just has like the way, like the guy's posture, like his posture is he's kind of getting into it.
Yeah, he knows what's going on there. They know what was going on that. That book is starting to gain some ground, man. It's becoming.
Oh, it's an expensive book.
I saw it recently at one of my shops, and I think
really
$325 for it.
Oh, you should have picked it up. That's a good price.
Yeah, I think it's still there. So,
yeah, that's a good price. It goes for about $400 plus.
Okay. I've got one cooler that's coming that I'm getting out of there. So,
okay, yeah, that's a good book. I'll show you another. I think this is Maurice Whitman. Yeah, Maurice Whitman cover.
Yep, Fire Hair. Yep, Fire Hair.
This is another series I'm almost done. I only need 2 more issues, and then I got the complete run.
Yeah, that was actually the last. I think that was the last issue I actually just bought recently.
Oh, this one?
Yeah, I was at a show. I was at Atlanta Comic Con.
Yeah. I like Maurice Whitman. You can always tell his style. I always, it's very distinctive. And then, what else did I grab? I grabbed a bunch of stuff. Okay. I feel like if I don't show this, I'd be kind of lame. So we got to show some Golden Age Wonder Woman.
That is one of the hardest books to find. You can find it, but you will be paying.
Yeah. So the way easy to figure out the price on this one, you just take whatever the grade is, multiply it by 1,000.
Yep.
Easy way to price it, and that's really how much it's worth. It's crazy.
Yeah. You know, I've actually rounded up with quite a bit of Sensation Comics in the last couple of months because they're actually we're in a market, we're in the buyer's market, and you can find some of those books for cheap, you know.
Sensation Comics, like generally, if you can get them under $200,
that's a win.
Pick it up. Just pick it up. Like it doesn't matter what it looks like. Like I've seen coverless copies sell for like that range.
Yeah.
So if any Sensation Comics, this is my tip advice. Anything under $200, pick it up. Just pick it up.
Just grab and go, smash and grab.
Yeah, you've done well.
Yeah.
So that's and I brought. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is the box that I lost. I couldn't find it. I was like,
you gotta label that box, man.
It's labeled, but it was like I have like all these slab boxes, and it was sort of tucked away in behind them.
Gotcha.
I was like, oh my goodness, where did I know I have this box. I know I have these comics, and this box probably has like $100,000 worth of comics in it.
Yeah, you don't want to lose that box.
It's like
you don't want to.
I was like, oh my goodness, here, I'll just quickly show you what's on top. Like this is give you a sense of like all the crazy stuff that was in it. Like actually, these are not that expensive, but okay, but Superboy #1.
Yeah, you don't see that, but he's like, it's not. Yeah. His name pulls out Superboy #1.
Yeah. This is a Silver Age. This was also in there.
Yeah.
So like this is a major book. This is the first Captain Cold, right?
Yeah.
And then there's just some random stuff. Like, it's like my organization skills are kind of all.
Susie is very cheap. You can find Susie.
These are cheap. These are cheap.
Very cheap.
And they're great. They're actually quite fun.
Yep.
There's a few that are key.
Yeah.
There's one like the one with the exploding kitchen.
Yeah, with her
That's
standing
the most expensive.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big book. I have it, but it's downstairs. But this is a cool book. This is another Silver Age, but this is the first appearance of Godzilla.
I just recently showed a Life with Archie. I think it's 305. It has the actual Chuck Clayton is actually on the cover. He's the first black character in Archie.
Oh, really?
And he's actually on the cover. 305. So if you don't look,
I'll have to pick that one up. I like getting kind of those key, kind of books like that, that are kind of cool. Historic, I guess, would be the way to say it. And the reason I really like this box though is let's see if I grabbed the right. Oh yeah. So this is my Captain Marvel box. So we got first Mr. Mind on the cover.
Mr. Mind. Yep.
And then this is actually the first appearance of Shibana Jr., the son of Dr. Shibana.
Yep.
And then some of the things that they did in the Golden Age are kind of cool.
Yeah.
See this one?
Yeah.
If you look at the dot, then you can read the message. Things like that. Kind of fun stuff.
Yep. Yep.
And then this one's kind of a key as well. This is the first appearance of Tawny the Tiger.
Yeah.
This is my Captain Marvel box, some of it, but that's not what I want to show you. One sec here. Well, okay, actually, I'll show you a few more Captain Marvels, just because I found some really great ones. Oh, wait. My backlight keeps on turning off. One sec here. Yeah, this one. This is the first appearance of Captain Marvel Jr. This is a big book. This is actually pretty expensive.
That cover right there, man.
This is a really expensive book.
Yeah. You have, I'm gonna tell you this, man. It's gonna sound cheesy, but I really love American Industry back in the 1950s.
Oh, really? Yeah, that kind of industrial look.
Yeah, that look is great, man. I just really love that kind of stuff, man.
So yeah, that's a big key. That's 25. Another big key is this one. This is the what's it called?
Yep.
The Captain Marvel's
thing.
And then we got, this is one of those kind of impossibility covers.
Yep. Those are some pop. Those are some bangers there, man, that you're pulling out. Those you have to. You can find those, but you're gonna.
They're a little more.
They're gonna be a little bit more expensive.
Yeah, a little more expensive for Captain Marvels. And this is one of my. I love this cover. This is just
Young Allies, man. I mean, this
is Schomburg. This is the very last propaganda cover that he did.
Those books, I remember, man. You used to could go get those in the 4s and the 5s and the 3s. This is like 17, 16. You used to could get those, and then man, it was all bets off now, man. They are very expensive.
Yeah, this one I actually paid a lot for this one.
Yeah,
the guy kept on bidding me up. I kind of got it. I kind of went into one of those FOMO kind of experiences. And I paid like $700 for this. But it is Schomburg's last war cover. It's just a crazy one. They're flame torching people.
That's crazy. And it looks like a Where's Waldo cover because there's so much going on there.
Oh yeah, exactly. And it's it's typical anti-Germans, anti-Japanese stuff, I should say, where they have the crazy buck teeth,
the face and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so crazy. So I always found those kind of interesting. And then this is a great one. This is not Golden Age, but is a great one that I always wonder where I put this comic. I always forget where I put it.
Oh,
this is one of those spanking covers.
One of those spanking covers, man. I'm about to look for that one.
This is a great one. This is a great one.
Yeah, I have to sit that to the side. I'm about to look after
Yeah,
the show.
for lovers only 73.
Seven-
That is definitely a great one.
Yeah,
This is a key book. This is like,
yeah, I'm writing
if
that
you
down.
can get it for cheap, you're lucky. This is not normally a cheap book.
Nice, I got it. 73, right?
Yeah, 73. It's a great one. That's spanking covers, especially when it's actually on the cover. Usually they say, "Oh, spanking panel" or something like that.
Yeah.
That's on the cover. It's kind of cool. And this is another really great one.
Oh yeah.
First Kiss Man Hater. This is another great one.
I always grab those old romance books, man. Always.
Okay, and this is actually a kind of a weird one. This is modern, but not modern, but like 80s. This is a Bill Ward, but this is Scorchy.
Yeah,
So
I've seen that before.
This is actually a pretty pricey book, but if you can get it, sometimes you can get it cheap.
Yeah, that's one that got past me because I remember seeing that in a long box somewhere.
Yeah, if you see it, pick it up because it can go for a few $100s even. Like, so it's just one of those ones where sometimes you see it for cheap. Okay, so we got some really weird stuff here. These are all like, oh, okay, this is a kind of weird one. I picked this up in a lot. This is Patches #1. This is LB Cole cover. He did a lot of these kind of like children's stuff.
Yep. No, every time I see that book, it's chewed up. It's like chewed up, literally, to where it's
this one I say is like a 2.5.
Yeah.
Maybe a 3.0 on a good day. Get the right grader. Another one that's really great. These ones are really fun, like Hickory.
Yep, Hickory. Yep.
Farmer's Daughter kind of stuff.
Yeah, Farmer's Daughter. Yeah, that's another one that's expensive.
Yeah. And then I got like mixed in this box is like Uncle Wiggly.
Yeah.
So, but that's not what I was actually trying to. It's a lot of stuff in this box.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm grabbing piles, and I'm not finding the ones that I want to show. One sec here.
Yeah, we got about another 10-15 minutes here. I'm
going to show just a few more books, but I want to show you the ones that I want to show. One sec here.
Yeah, let's go through this. Bring some of that good. I know. If you digging like that, I know it's something in there you for to bring out.
There's going to be some big ones. One sec. I'll grab those. You'll like those. This is a good one. Okay, one sec here. Just bear with me.
Yeah, no problem. I think everybody's still trying to soak it all in with what they've just seen.
One sec here. That one's cool.
While he's doing that, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you take out the time to hit that like button and subscribe. Also, make sure that you roll over to the Comic Collector Geek. Subscribe to him as well. He updates his. He rolls out a video almost every day.
Every day.
Yeah,
Sometimes twice a day.
And he has great topics like favorite red dress cover, stuff like that. and he's always something cool going on over there. And he also has guests as well that comes on his channel and talks about their collecting and what they've gotten into and things of that magnitude. So make sure you check him out, Comic Collector Geek. He's also on IG at Comic Collector Geek. And also make sure you check us out as well at Comic Hall on IG.
Okay, so I brought, now these are the bigger books. Okay, so we got the Venus #2, the Canadian edition. This is a Canadian edition, so it's extra rare. Really just
tell me that, Alan, because I've got a couple of Golden Age books that are Canadian edition, and I wondered that. And I was
they're insanely rare, like maybe 2 on the census, like that kind of level.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just not, you just don't see them. Another big book. This is Brenda Starr.
Oh, yes. Yep. Headlight cover.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, man.
Almost get blinded there. This is like my Brenda Starr collection, so I've got a bunch of hers.
Yeah, and you can Brenda Starr.
Some of these are kind of affordable. Like that first one is not, but
yeah,
these ones are. This is more affordable. And this one, kind of, just classic good girl art kind of style stuff. Then we got, I think this one's kind of cute. She's like eating cake, and then this kind of fat woman is trying to get in, but she can't fit through the door.
Yeah, that wouldn't fly today, man.
They wouldn't fly today.
Fly.
That's why, personally, because of all the stuff nowadays, in a way, I kind of really appreciate these books.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I like the politically incorrect stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of weird that way. But
no, there was a market for that back in the day. That classic Sonny. Yep.
This is Sonny. So this box had all my Sonny and Juniors in it. And then we got Clairvoyant.
Clairvoyant, yep.
The colors on this are a little bit faded, but
yeah, it's hard to find those in without stuff being torn and ripped.
Yeah, it's actually in good shape. It's just the bag is ripped. It's not the book. It's actually in good shape. And then we got the Saint.
Yeah,
some really classic Good Girl art cover.
Red dress, bondage.
Red dress and bondage.
Always
I had show one with that.
Yeah, always a win.
Yeah, and then we got some Doll Man.
Yep. I've just recently started getting into Doll Man. I just
really, I kind of like it personally. And then we got Moon Girl.
Yep, Moon Girl.
Moon Girls had some really great covers.
Yep, and some of those can be pricey.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I just saw one at Heritage. I was actually watching the auction. I think it sold for $700, $750.
Yeah. The weird thing is the later issues when it's like Moon Girl and something romance, something like that. Those go for crazy money, crazy money. And this is just a kind of a cool one. This is Police Cases.
Yep.
I always like this cover.
Nice. Yep. I like that color palette.
Yeah, I really like that one. And this is another interesting one. This is a pretty pricey book. This is Dagger.
Dagger, yep. Jack came in there.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. And then we got Sonny, another Sonny.
Yep, and I have that copy as well, man. That's one of my favorite. I just love it.
It's a really great
that
one.
That was actually done over a lot during that era. So you'll see a lot of that. And I'm trying to think of who it was that I think Millie the Model might even had a cover like that, something similar to that.
Some Sonny.
Yeah, Sonny.
Yeah.
So awesome, man. Well, brother, it's always great to see the collection. It's funny because every time I see your collection, it's always something new or it's something I have not seen. And that's
there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I absolutely love it, man. So I gave people a little bit of a primer where they can find you. Tell everybody about what you've got going on your channel. And
so basically I put out a video every day. So there's always something happening, either unboxings or interviews with like cool channels like yourself. And I do like a cover challenge where I kind of try to get everybody in the community to participate. There's about 10 people that now participate in that cover challenge, so it's kind of fun. And we just do crazy covers. And then on Wednesdays, I do my Q&A video where I basically answer people's questions, whatever questions that they might have. And usually it involves me doing a lot of research and finding out really interesting things that I didn't even know. And then on Mondays, I do like a kind of collaboration video with a guy in the UK. And, we talk about different topics and we have debates.
I enjoy that. I enjoy those debates when you go through and look at it.
Right now, we're having a debate about Garfield. It's kind of fun.
You can't go wrong with Jim Davis and Garfield, man.
Yeah, but we're debating about where was Garfield's first appearance.
It's in a newspaper somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
While he's on Garfield, I will throw this out there. If you find any of those Kaboom Garfield comic books, they are extreme. The ratio variants are very hard to find. So if you find,
really,
very hard to find. So
okay, so I was like, we do spec videos. So I was specking on Garfield. I said, Garfield's a good one. You can get into it pretty cheap right now. But they're going to be making a movie in 2024. So it's like one it's really early buy-in right now. And it's one that you can pick up $10,
So Alan, I would have to say, if it was my opinion, I would say go for the old books that we grew up. We used to check out at the library back when we were all coming up, the Garfield Stays at Home, Garfield Chews the Fat. Those
I have all those. Actually.
Yeah. And they are dirt cheap. They're dirt cheap. As a matter of fact, I know exactly. You got me. I'm going out to the store tomorrow because I know exactly where all of them at down here where I'm at. And I can get them $5 or $6 a book. So I'm like, yep, I'm going over there tomorrow and pick those up.
Yeah, if you're gonna pick it up, try to make sure it's a first print, and
Yeah,
then make sure.
Because I remember when me and the store owner are good friends, and so I was with him when he got the collection and when he checked everything. So I know they're still sitting down and nobody even touched them. So
yeah, Garfield is a great character.
Garfield, that's my favorite cartoon. That was one of my favorite cartoons growing up. Was Garfield the cat.
Yeah, it's one of the things that really got me reading actually as a kid.
Likewise. Yep. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no, it's fine. No, so those are some of the things I'm doing. I'm like, I talk about everything actually on my channel, just everything comics.
Yeah, awesome. So, and if you all want to see what I've got in my collection, you can go over there to his channel because we just recently
we did a video together.
Yep, did a video together, and so I show some of the books in my collection, and we had a fun discussion like we did here as well. So, Alan, thank you for taking out the time to join us on this second edition of the Solid Gold Soul. First edition, I interviewed Night Tiger, and we had a good time. Yeah, we had a good time talking comic books, and so glad to get you on. Got a couple other people trying to work to get on, and just enjoy talking about this good old golden age, and sprinkling of that silver as well. And so we appreciate you stopping through, my man.
Okay, thanks again for having me.
All right, so everybody, make sure you like, share, subscribe, tell a friend about the Comic Hall crew. We are on twice a month, and as for the Solid Gold Soul, we are out. Hope you enjoyed this edition. We'll be back. Peace.
Bye.